Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. So last episode we tied up some loose ends in Act 3 and we made a start with Act 4. And today we're gonna continue where we left off. We are now entering the mines and with a bit of luck we will make it all the way to the Rapture device. And for now we'll see how long it takes. If it goes relatively fast, we might actually run calm. I'm reasonably confident about doing him. The rest I'm still slightly more intimidated by, for the obvious reason that I actually lost my previous character to him. But calm was relatively doable, and especially because I'm so freaking tanky. When my endurance charges are completely maxed, I have an extra 8% damage reduction on top of my 76% fire resistance. And I calculated it's basically as if I have 2 percentage points extra of resistances. So you could basically think of it as I got a 78% of fire resist. So monsters are not really doing a lot of fire damage to me. Oh wait, did I just level a skill I shouldn't have? I just leveled a skill I shouldn't have. Dang it. I really... So it's in my cast when damage taken setup. That's why I'm getting slightly ticked off now. I really would like that, because the game now enforces this rule that the cast when damage taken setup, it only require that there's a level requirement. So now, because I just clicked the button, Molten Shell requires a higher level than the cast when damage taken support gem is actually supporting. So it broke out of the cast when damage taken setup. I would really like it if it would actually be grayed out, and the requirement would be that a dependent gem prevents it from leveling up. Because that way, you know, you will never accidentally shoot yourself in the foot and break your build. It's only Molten Shell, it's not like it's Blood Rage or the Stone Golem, but it's gonna be annoying as heck anyway. So I basically have to manually cast it. Or no, if you could beforehand already lock certain things to prevent them from leveling up. On the other hand, I gained some levels, so I think we're just gonna bump this one, the cast when damage taken. We're actually gonna bump it, so it's gonna be a higher level. So now this one is locked again. And I can also bump the golem ones, and I should just remember to not upgrade things. So I saved myself out of this, but it's annoying, especially since you can't easily downgrade gems. And it's not always fun to level it completely from scratch. Nor is it an option if you have a quality gem. They're a bit harder to come by. Ooh, Chaos Orb. Chaos Sentinel, what are you doing? That's probably a Chaos Degen Aura something. So what is my level regen up to? 651 with the Golem contributing 85. So 650, and that means that's my passive regen is probably better than my flasks are contributing right now. 640 in 7 seconds. That's now 300 something. So it's like 340 health per second that you get from sipping a flask. Well, I get 650, it's almost double that, just as passive regen. Also, I finally thought about upgrading my loot filter to show the coins to be a bit bigger. so they actually stand out. So very happy about that. They're now easier to pick up. Hello, loot. Yes, thank you. You are a soul eater. Let's eat your soul instead. Also, let's put down a totem. Call in a little bit of help. So, yeah, build is progressing pretty nicely. So, finish up all the mines today, maybe have a look at Calm, or just see how far we can get. And then either do the crypt map we already found, or go for the resto. It depends a bit on how good it goes with finding gear upgrades. But after the resto is done, I am gonna take a bit to run some maps and yeah, just not push forward too much, because I know my chaos resistance is a bit on the low end. Well, a bit on the low end. My negative 74 or 47. So I'll just need to spend some time running some maps, getting some currency, finding some high-end items. I've actually all the highest tier helmet and body armor, all those things. I've already highlighted them in the loot filter as well. So if something highlights in purple, it's going to be a base item I'm looking for. So that's things like Titan gloves, Titan boots. Something eternal helmet, something. I don't know. And I think the glorious plate. So those are the end game things. There's also something called an astral plate, which is like 2 small steps below. Oh, exit. 2 steps below the final body armor, but it has 8 to 10% resist all built into it, which seems rather convenient as well. So that might be a nice step up, considering that I'm completely not there yet.
Kitava's belly rumbles. He is hungry for me.
So this level we have the shred and hammer mash to go for. And then the exit. Hey, vegan, you are actually on level. This is slightly more challenging than my warm-up, but still, ought to be fun.
I cannot do this yet.
So I'm just using my enduring cry now to build endurance charges.
Now that was a
And that was it. I got some more
cannot carry this.
reputation. Oh wow, I've been looting like crazy. Ah, this is a rather large item. Can pick up more stuff instead. And a quiver. Okay, whatever. Don't care about the rest. We move on. Blessing of Elements. This looks like a frosty aura. Let's grab it. It's not like we need it, but hey, it's always good to have. It's some extra safety. More Arctic armor. Good. Let's check out everything up here before I move down. Complete screen. It's like a guaranteed non-quest related unique that spawns on this level. Hammer Mash being the other guaranteed one that's always next to this red. It's like the Guardian almost. And another Perandus Horde. The frame drop fellas. To be honest, I think it dipped below 55 this time. So being indoors rather than outdoors probably helps a bit as well, since the terrain is simpler. I don't know. Just trying to explain things. Well, today or last night, depending on where your time zone exactly starts and ends, the Grinding Gate Games released a development manifesto, as they call them. It's basically another company would call them blog posts about performance as a specific topic that they were calling out. And they now have 2 dedicated programmers just on performance improvements for the game. So that's pretty cool. And they outlined some of the changes that are in the pipeline that are coming out really soon, as well as some longer term plans that they are working on. And it looks pretty good. Especially, Hammerstorm, that means the Scout's near. So the game has gotten a lot richer content-wise in recent years also. Why are you being so annoying? He hurts quite a bit, even though he shouldn't. Well, I don't have my endurance charges up. That might be part of the reason. Okay. Let's go to town before we tackle more content, since we're completely full. So the game has got a lot more content over time, and they're basically pushing just the physical memory limits of how much content they can load at the same time under the Windows memory model. And they're just pushing against all the limits. And I think currently, because they have a 32-bit client, older versions of Windows, they can use like 3 gigs. Newer versions, they can use 4 gigs, but they cannot push through the 4 gigabyte barrier. And I think they have some plans to eventually deliver a 64-bit client that will be able to use more memory at a time, as well as using DirectX 11 rather than DirectX. I think they're still on 9 for the main client. So that might... let's see. Push this a little bit. Well, actually, let's hold on. Let's double check this. Is this gonna be a difference? 2573. 8229 and 3694. So 2573. That's 80 damage. Drop in a bucket, you could say. This turns into 40 armor. That's also not a drop, not big, and I don't think the extra strength matters all that much. So this is probably not going to be worth it. So if we refund this and we just spend it on life, gotta get more impact from it. We don't really need the small amount of damage there. And let's continue where we were. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited that they released just such a detailed plan of what they have been doing, what they are currently working on, and what their future plans are on the topic of performance. Because of course it's been a topic that's been often discussed recently by a lot of people, because they added a lot of new content to the game, and because they are pushing the limits of how much data they can load. I think they spoke about if they were able to load all the data into memory, they would almost need 9 gigabytes. If you can only load 3 or 4 gigabytes of data due to physical limitations of the operating system, something has to give, and they have to make choices of what they load and anticipate what they will need. But of course, if you open up a chest, especially if you open up a Perandus chest, any kind of monster can spawn from it that can use any kind of skill, presumably. So no, there's going to be some extra loading, some extra graphics, things like that. The same with strong boxes spawning monsters. If it's random, it can be anything, especially if it spawns like a rogue exile with some extra skills. That and maybe some microtransactions that you know, have not been loaded because you are not using them. So yeah, I'm actually very excited to for when the 64-bit client comes out, if that will allow them to load more data. Because I got 16 gigabytes in my machine, and most of it is sitting unused. Well, unused by the game. I still have you know, my recording software and all kinds of background stuff like that. So I can basically just ignore memory as a luxury. But it would be nice to put more of the memory to use for the actual benefits of the game. Because it's sad to see that the state of most apps and most games, at least on the Windows, is that they're still just 32-bit clients that are not able to use all the data. Ooh, Astral Plate. So this is a slightly purplish outline because this is a special. Because this is almost endgame content. And actually this is level 68 area. And I think most of the content, most of the equipment I need is actually level 68, so that's good. I think there's 1 or 2 items that are 69, and some might even be 67. Deep Horn, yeah, that's just one of those. So I might end up doing some farming runs here if I don't get enough maps to sustain myself. But it would also be nice to have a couple of endgame suitable armors, so to say, so I can spend some time just rolling better bases, seeing if I can get 5 or 6 sockets on them. Things like that, getting the colors just right. Ooh, Stipnight Flask. Ah, Smoke Cloud. 10%. Quality. So currently I'm a Juggernaut that cannot be stopped. If I throw the Stipnight out and get a Smoke Cloud around me, then I also cannot be seen. I become like a Juggernaut ninja. Well, that was pretty good. 18 minutes into the episode. I think we're gonna call this one early. It's no, leisurely pace. So let's see if we can get actually anything useful. The Astral Plate is the one we want. The built-in elemental resistance is very, very nice for rounding out the resistance. Also because this, it dropped in the level 68 area. It's gonna be item level 68, so that means there's gonna be better enchantments that can roll on it. Like for example, this plus 37 to fire resistance roll, which is pretty darn good. Okay, Crusader Plate I have is better, but that's a rare that rolled exceptionally well. So I think this might be a decent pace to start with. All things considered. On the other hand, this is 59%. Now there is always the option still to just pick a diamond skin, swallow 1 point for that, and then I have all my resistances fixed and I'll be over capped. That's gonna give me a bit more flexibility in terms of gearing, because I can spend a little less attention on that. Because that's, of course, that's always a trade-off you can make. You can always spend a couple of skill points to fix your resistances, especially as a Marauder. Because here you got 15, you got another 12, so you can have 27% to all resistances just from these 4 skill points. And of course, if you're gonna go through here to pick up the mace wheel, 3% resist all, some fire resistance, and another 3% to resist all. So everything together is 32% to all resistances, which is pretty darn potent. So, well, I'll put it into the box to hobby with, and eventually it's gonna be nice or not. I might find some better things, but for now I'm gonna call this one an episode, and next time we're gonna run the two middle of the road bosses, Kam and Dresso. So hope you'll be back to see how that goes, if it's gonna be the end of this character's life, or if we're actually gonna come out ahead compared to the Shadow. So don't miss next episode. Bye bye.